Generals, gentlemen.
Hello and welcome once again to Company of Heroes 2.
We're excited to be here. Hope you're excited to be here. We love casting a little bit of this. It's going to be a pretty good time. We are, of course, on Colony Firma Winter. We are the Generals Gentlemen. I'm Archon Hawk.
And I am the Machine, and by a little bit, we do mean significantly more than your average amount.
Yeah, I mean, you got your average amount here, and this is kind of, we're up here. We love it. The General Gentlemen up here. We got to be loving it. Got to be enjoying what we're doing. Got to be introducing our players, however. PanzerGrenadier, can't pronounce the last name.
Angreifen.
Angreifen. I've been working for the last 5 minutes to get to a machine level of pronunciation, and I just can't seem to do it. He's going to be playing as a Wehrmacht on the left-hand side.
And our right will be the Soviets. That's going to be SturmTigerLuvnest. So another vanilla matchup. We've had so many of these recently, and hey, I ain't even mad.
I'm not mad.
Not even mad. Not even a little bit. I do, again, quite like the matchup. I don't like that cap.
Nope. Gone past it.
Nah, it can be nice to do this, though, because if you're able to get that garrison, it's quite hard to actually be able to push that through. So you have to backwards cap, which he's doing now. So if you can hold that garrison... The problem with here, though, is you can't see if a sneaky pioneer goes up north of the garrison and caps the garrison. Yeah. So it's a bit of a gamble if you cap the point without actually getting to the garrison, but it will pay off. Getting some sandbags will give him better damage output than the garrison, because he only has like 4 windows in the garrison there.
It was a tiny bit late with the sandbags, so I wasn't firing the full time, but it doesn't really matter because the Grens were moving the entire time. Nice drop model there as well.
But now he's given
up the heavy cover. It doesn't really make much sense.
Oh, he would have lost the garrison, and the garrison was flanking the heavy cover.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
In that sense, it wasn't very good sandbag placement. Like, maybe if he placed it behind here, that may have made a bit more sense, but that should be fine. He's definitely going to win this engagement nonetheless. I think he's just trying to buy the cutoff, and hopefully Luvnest actually gets in the point just to stall it. No, actually going to lose it. He should have...
Not even... Yeah.
Because it's just going to buy time without him having the point now. It's always nice to just evac and just hold the point in that situation. But...
Yeah, it was a fair bit of manpower to be giving up. Especially with these highly mobile conscripts. It's not going to be hard for Luvnest to take control of the map here. Not going to win that engagement.
So pretty con-heavy play thus far from Luvnest, going for the Molotov as well now. So not going to be going for a fast tier 1 or fast tier 2 playstyle. I think tier 1 isn't exactly very viable on this map. Too many choke points to make the sniper or the M3 play work. So I think con spam is a pretty safe bet, and it's actually really effective against Wehrmacht. Definitely
quite nice here. So it does go for nice early Molotovs, not a 5 con build, just goes for the 4.
Yeah, I think
it's pretty close to it as well, having the unlock done. So
I think 4 and Molotov is a good number.
Yeah.
Otherwise you just start to float too many munitions.
Pretty manpower investment as well. So Molotovs are up and ready. Pretty quick retreat coming out here on the side of PanzerGrenadier. So map looking pretty much equally controlled. Nice early oh, is that Telemines or S-Mines going down?
S-Mines.
S-Mines it is, yeah. Thought it might be Tellers, then I saw how fast the build was, and I'm just like, oh, that's disappointing. I was really excited to see a really early Telemine, but I'm just like, doesn't have the munitions for it.
If it's an instant build time, then it's S-Mines. Other than that, it's kind of a weird spot to Telemine. If it was Telemines, it'd probably be over here, or up here or something like that.
It's kind of odd.
Other than that, conscripts trying to 1v2 in the garrison. He's actually in a pretty interesting spot, because in that corner, that's actually the worst spot you can be, because it means there's these windows are firing and these windows are firing as well. Where if he was only on the side, then there'd only be, see, there's only 4 windows, where before there was actually all 6 windows firing. So you don't want to be on the corner of the garrison. It's not where you want to be. At the moment, pretty good map control from Luvnest. He did have the 2 fuel. Nice flame engineer, but negative cover will get him quite shredded. What he could do as well is emerge. He may even lose that engineer, getting some pretty lucky crits. He loses the engineer squad. That's a bit of a blow now. The conscript squads are rather low in that garrison too.
Especially with the investment coming down from that flamer, losing it. You really don't want to be in that neg cover kind of an environment. Should really have been in at least some type of cover, or even closing the gap on the Grenadiers. The heavy cover was wide off on that side, which still might have, it was definitely a nice wire there from PanzerGrenadier. It's an excellent spot to put off. And did those conscripts sneak around the S-Mines down the bottom?
Yeah, he knew they were there.
It's very sneaky. Yeah.
Other than that, when it comes to flamer NGs, merge is so strong.
Yeah.
Because the flamer NGs will always get focused. But if you just keep merging, the engineers just don't leave the field, and that's actually a really strong way to play, because then your opponent miscalculates engagements because they go, oh, I'll just focus the NGs, they'll force the NGs off, and then I'll refocus, but you just keep merging and you lose your conscript, but it's worth it for the combat engineer flamer, especially because the combat engineer riflemen do the exact same damage as the conscript riflemen, so there's no downside to it.
Probably the best way to play. A lot of low grenadier squads coming out here, but no real way to punish that, as the cutoff is going to be taken here. Hopefully Luvnest can try and keep a hold of that one.
Probably will get a minesweeper, I would say, for this S-mines. So
you're going to need one. I think a flamer investment at this point would mean you'd have to get yet another engineer squad.
And there's a problem, especially losing the flamer, because he went Molotovs. So he can't really go Molotovs again if he has to rebuild that flamer upgrade, or if he does. Other than that, though, let's have a look at the side of Angreifen. What do we see here?
You're seeing a med bunker coming out from him. Nicely timed as well. Does have those retreating swords coming through. Maybe a tiny bit late, but I mean the upgrade is averagely fast for that med bunker, so should be enough to heal these squads up, get them back on the field. Just sticking with the 4 grenadiers at the moment.
Teched up as well.
Teched up as well, he did, yeah. I was wondering where the manpower went all of a sudden.
So
go for the tech.
He might be going for early P-Grens. P-Grens are actually really strong now against cons, because conscripts, they don't really win medium anymore. They only really win long, and not by much. Since the P-Gren medium range buff, P-Grens are definitely in a much better spot. Against conscripts especially. Against riflemen, they still can have trouble, but for what they are, they're quite nice, and they do scale very well with those Panzerschrecks. 222, probably not going to be very effective on Kolodny. It's hard to be aggressive with and not run around a corner into either a mine or into the conscript AT grenades. But Luvnest, he's looking really strong. He has pretty much the entire map here.
We may see Pioneer Squad go down this garrison as well. Molotov's actually going to be going down on the door here.
That's a good move.
There's a very, very nice placement, but does he have anything to punish those Pioneers? They're going to juke around the side of the garrison. That's some slippery work coming out from PanzerGrenadier. Avoids the Molotov and keeps the squad alive.
Now, he actually ran over the Molotov patch and he didn't die. And so that was actually a bit unfortunate for Luvnest, because he did land the Molotov, but the Pioneer was really delayed in the retreating. That con's it rather low. Gotta be careful retreating for his 3 squads of Grins. Can get bursted down pretty quickly, but not being focused. Yeah, if the Molotov went into the garrison, it would have killed the Pyros, because the Pyros had a really delayed evacuate. Really, PanzerGrenadier should have evacuated that early, if he didn't. Which, if he did, then it would have resulted in the dead squad. So, interesting little catch there.
It's all mind games, really. The Grenadier squads didn't actually have time to heal up.
Yeah,
they're really all running very, very low on the field here. Not having the best of times, but obviously having the map control now, it's going to allow PanzerGrenadier to at least see some territory back before retreating and healing up his squads.
So really early tier 3 here. What do you think we're going to see Luvnest go for from that tier 3?
I mean, it could really be anything. He does have a bit of a fuel advantage, because what you have to remember, he's had his top fuel the entire time as well as the bottom one. So a T70 is a distinct possibility. But I mean, a T-34 would probably be better at this point. I mean, I always prefer seeing T-34s coming out as opposed to just T-70s. It's not really that much of an increase in how long you have to wait for them, so we'll have to see what he decides to go for.
There's a 30 fuel difference, so you can really rush it out. The T-70s, they're definitely better against packs and against P-Grens, so they're much better against that tier 2 play, but then you run the risk of losing to a P4 rush. But given the fuel advantage, it's not really an option. Grenadiers getting very low here, but they will be fine to evacuate. So I think a T-70 would actually be incredibly effective, because there's going to be a very long delay until the P4 does actually show up, that he can be quite aggressive with it. Whereas if your opponent is pretty similar on field, going for the T-70 generally will just result in losing to a P4.
Having that conscript repair is going to be pretty fantastic as well here.
No, he's going to lose that.
Oh, going to go down here, yeah. So Luvnest having the conscript repair is going to be nice, because he doesn't need... He's not going to need those combat engineer squads out on the field all the time. He's not going to need several of them, so losing the first squad earlier won't make that much of a difference. It'll also allow him to be fairly aggressive with that T-70. Allow him to kind of take it fast and then have conscript squads nearby to be able to repair that nice and quickly and stop it from being caught out by a pack, for example.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a pack on the field here. T-70 still can get taken out quite quickly. The packs do have a very, very high rate of fire. There is a T-70 coming out, and even a Maxim as well. But he probably will need to go another Zis, and then a T-34, or maybe even double Zis into the ISU.
Nice prediction coming out from PanzerGrenadier. Realizes he's behind on fuel, however. Does decide to go for that pack, and it will allow him a little bit of free reign. A little bit of movement at least here. We'll see how much impact the T-70 can make. That blizzard can make it very dangerous. Molotov going in.
Nice.
It's very nice. No instant crits, but they're running around in the Molotov for a long time.
Running out of the heavy cover into the neg cover, but will force the Grens off nonetheless. T-70 on the field does have... Oh, it got wiped. Wow.
Yeah,
Through
really
the neg cover.
unfortunate.
T-70 though will do some pretty good damage here. Heavy cover, giving a bit of protection for the Grens. He's within false range. He's driving through the blizzard, so he can't actually fire max range. We'll take a fast, but I think taking a fast would actually be good because there isn't a lot of munitions here, and the more fast fire off, the less telemines, and it'll delay a P-Shrek if he does actually go for that one. As long as he doesn't get caught by the pack as well, and the pack moving out. Firing one shot won't connect though. Still not retreating the T-70, but he will lose the Gren squad if he doesn't move away now.
Does actually get the wipe there. Can the pack...
Ooh.
No, doesn't end up firing again. T-70 does back away from this one. The conscript's going to be moving back. Can repair that one extremely quickly. So yeah, maximum on the field. It's going to be nice if we can get it inside a garrison, especially that church. If we can get back church control. Inside this blizzard, vision is everything, and MGs definitely do play a pretty crucial role in that. Trying to stop movement during the blizzard, so...
Blizzards make it very hard to use T-70s. You basically can't. And with a T-70, you have to make an impact, otherwise that early game investment scales off. Ooh, Raffinate didn't actually connect, didn't quite... Oh, wow, but it doesn't even matter, so it does a lot of damage despite not connecting. Gonna have to evacuate that squad. He's gonna lose a lot of models if he doesn't.
Not sure why he right into the building. He must have something else following it up. There's the T-70, that's what I was looking for. And Demo Trap as well going to be planted down the bottom, but it was actually...
Oh, nice move.
Might have been scouted out, or maybe not. Oh, that's not a good spot for the Grenadiers to stand. And I think we saw the explosion there. Yeah, wiped another squad here. So that's several Grenadier squads that we've seen PanzerGrenadier actually lose thus far.
Yeah, he's
running a good time.
Running out of squads, only having 2 Grens left. Really needs to make up for that with some anti-infantry firepower, maybe sort of P-Grens or just rebuild some of those Grenadiers. Trying to force away the Minesweeper so the conscripts won't be able to get the fuel point, but he may even lose that Pioneer squad. T-70 moving in for it as well.
Yeah, he's definitely probably going to get the wipe here. Dangerous route to travel, but a nice knowledge of kind of munitions. Costio, where's T-70 going? Don't realise the retreat path?
Yeah,
or?
oopsie.
Oopsie daisies.
So this is actually a Puma, that's a call-in. And that's going to be a good response here to the T-70 because the T-34 is going to be very delayed. That Puma will destroy the T-70 if it gets caught out of position. And also, it means you can actually just use the Ostrupen call-in to make up for that lack of infantry. So I think this is actually a pretty good commander choice. And then the command tank can make up a pretty strong anti-infantry vehicle. Especially if you end up building Panthers. Having that buff is quite nice.
Something else you have to remember is the lock-in here from Luvnest, and the only ISU one he actually had, it's going to be, yeah, he did end up going for that shock ISU selection there, which I don't know if Giab actually, who is it? No, Giab, God, PanzerGrenadier actually knows that because we haven't seen any shocks come out.
No,
and no conscript repair either. There hasn't actually been any indication of the commander choice, but all luck to PanzerGrenadier here because he will have the Pumas to be able to deal with the ISUs. It took me a while, but I finally did get there. The Pumas are definitely going to be nice against the ISU if it does end up coming out there. So
Pumas are the ideal counter to the ISU. You just drive the Pumas up to it, and you have smoke, so you can just smoke through everything. It's basically a really strong way to play the matchup is you hold on to your commander because you don't really need a commander as the Wehrmacht. And then you wait for the ISU, you float up your fuel, and if you see the ISU, you just call in 2 Pumas and a command tank. Whereas then, you don't want to have Pumas if, say, an IS-2 shows up, because then you won't penetrate and you'll just lose to the IS-2, so then you want to hold on to, say, a Tiger or the Tiger Ace. So that's one of the strengths of Wehrmacht against Soviets, is you can really just hold on to your commanders, but whereas Soviets, they're forced into a commander pick because you generally need to have the shocks or the guards in the mid game to compete with those Axis infantry. So then you can sort of abuse their selection by just countering their heavy tank call-in by whatever you can do.
Maxim does end up revealing this Puma. Just setting up going for the suppression if nothing else here. I think Hotsup's moving into the side, looking like an 18 aid.
Yeah, he has it available. Didn't actually URA for it though. He could have easily got the URA.
He's in range anyway.
Gets it anyway, yeah. The pack was blocking off the retreat path for the Puma. So he will get caught. There isn't... This is this actually. It wasn't within range at the time. Gren's are trading very effectively though. Once you get into that medium game, the Grenadiers with the LMGs are very, very cost effective against those conscripts. Especially towards the late game. And if they're in negative cover, even worse than that, we'll retreat away. So this is sort of the stage where it can be hard for Luvnest because there's the Puma on the field denying the T-70 and all of these Grens have LMGs. Pack is firing now and the Puma shot as well. He may lose the T-70. They both missed. Oh, the Pack goes
no, the Pack ends up hitting there. Yeah, Puma max range did miss off to the side, but does at least secure... Man, my phone is making a lot of noise. Jesus! Pack doesn't manage to secure the kill though and secures the veteran C1.
T-70s actually have a pretty small target size, so Pumas won't hit a lot. Like, if you've seen a Puma trying to kill an M3, it just misses all the bloody time.
Yeah. Yesterday, my favorite thing was trying to make bazookas hit a Kubelwagen.
Yeah,
that wasn't the best time of my life. It just wasn't happening for me. I'm just like, yeah, man, the Kubel stationary, like I can probably hit that. I mean, the Ziz can probably hit the Puma here. Pops the smoke just in case.
But it was out of range.
Safe move.
So there's a T-34-85. Now the problem with that is there's a lot of faults because Ostrupen they do have the Panzer faults. Pumas can outrange and outkite the T-34, so it's hard to use a T-34 against a Puma.
So we got a Vet 2 squad there as well.
Yeah, but he doesn't need to have the tank against the Grenadier LMGs because conscripts won't trade cost effectively anymore. Not with Grens, with the LMGs.
Yeah, so just got to be careful really of that Puma. You really don't want, that T-34-76. When you see Pumas on the field, it's just like, I mean, I prefer not to, but
the other option is stalling for an ISU,
yeah,
which...
that's not really going to be a great option either.
Yeah, not exactly fantastic. But if he combines the T-34 with some AT grenades, the problem with the Puma is it's just so fast. But if you do land an AT grenade, well then...
Yeah, you can deal with it.
You're going to penetrate 100% of the time against the Puma. So, comboed up with... Oh, he loses the garrison to the Flamers.
The garrison rolls are real there.
Yeah. T-34 is moving in. It has a free reign on this destroyed engine Puma. Pack is firing though. Will fire a shot, but still, he can go into it deep. T-30... Wow, that's a nice mortar shot actually. T-34 is taking some damage now. He needs to go in close to the Puma, but he will back away, playing it safe. Doesn't quite know where the Puma is, I don't think.
Yeah, probably.
I don't think he could see it through the garrison.
No, I don't think he could either. So
might have thought it was back at base being repaired.
Doesn't end up going for the safe option here, and finally a bit of fuel going to be taken back here by PanzerGrenadier. Has his top fuel back.
It's also quite nice to have mines.
VPs. Yeah, he needs the VPs as well now, which he is starting to get. Has the 1.
Yeah, Luvnest does have a lot more VPs. 475 to 240.
Running through the Molotov, I'm going to walk away from that one fairly safely, but not looking that great for Luvnest, just on the sheer point that, as you were saying, it's very, very hard for these conscripts to be able to deal efficiently with the Grenadiers, especially with their LMGs, once that veterancy starts to come down, so he's relying more and more on this T-34 to really make the pressure, and it can't be absolutely everywhere at once.
Yeah, it's all about the Molotovs. If you can land a Molotov, great. If you don't land a Molotov, you can't really win that at all. And the T-34 can't go in deep because of those Panzer faults, so he's going to have to poke long range, and of course that's not going to work against a Puma. Has more rate of fire and range. T-34 is desperate. One more shot may even take it out here.
See if we can get some repairs down from those conscripts. Puma decides to play it safe again though, with those conscripts in the area.
Ooh, we will land it. That and T-34 shot will take it out, but the Pack is there and waiting for the T-34.
T-34 going to back off to base and try and play a little bit safer. Man, I swear I turned that off. I did actually turn that off.
That's alright.
It's turned itself back on again. Inside the General Gentlemen headquarters here, we have a pretty strict protocol when it comes to before we start shoutcasting. Steam notifications go off, Facebook goes off, you turn off all the notifications from there, phones go off as well.
Well, mine just stays on silent.
Yours just stays on silent,
yeah.
So yeah, mine's are not always on silent, so I just turn mine off most of the time. Unless it decides to turn itself back on again, which it has managed to do. It's good fun.
Sort of like when squads decide to stop retreating halfway through their retreat path.
Yeah, and just like, did I ask you to do that? Or when you put them inside heavy cover and they decide to auto-find cover outside of said heavy cover,
Yeah.
You literally have to spend half your time microing your squad to stay inside the heavy cover, please.
Yeah. Now this is a risky move here. One Pack shot or one Puma will take this T-34 out, but still he can force away the MG42.
That's definitely going to be nice, but I mean the real reason is why are you so low T-34 when there's 4 conscript squads on the field, as well as having the combat engineers? I mean, have you got none of them nearby the T-34? Really does need to repair that one ASAP.
The conscripts do repair a lot slower than
they do.
You bear that in mind.
Yeah, you have to.
There's probably about maybe half or 2/3 of that of an engineer squad, despite being more members.
Using that armored vehicle detection as well to give the T-34 a little bit more safety.
Yeah, it's cheap.
Yeah, and you work out where the Puma is, and I mean that's a pretty important thing. It's very mobile.
And as Soviets, you generally are just going to float in excess of munitions, unless you're going guards, because they have quite a heavy munitions upgrades, the button, the nades. Conscripts, unless you have PPSH, you generally just do float the munitions. Still not many mines though. I think Luvnest maybe go double engineer and just spam more mines. That would be nice to do against the Puma playstyle, because once he gets the ISU, he's going to get caught by these flanks. Because you can just smoke through conscripts and avoid the AT grenades.
And that's exactly right. What you do need is the patented The Machine Mine Circle. Picture included. We may include the picture, we may not. We don't think we will.
I don't have that.
You want mines absolutely everywhere, on all possible flank routes to avoid the flanks. I mean, it's not very hard. I mean, yes, Kolodny, Firma, Winter, I mean, it's not an open map, but there are lots of different ways to get to places, and it's pretty easy to mine those places off. You just mine off there, and there. There's about 4 or 5 different mine spots that are just key to using an ISU, because you want to be using it at range, right in the middle there. You don't want to be moving it off to the sides. So having the mines against these Pumas is going to be extremely important. Use the T-34 a little bit more aggressively to try and take back points, to try and hold VPs in other locations.
And especially with a Puma, you can be a lot more aggressive than normal. T-34 though, he shouldn't be aggressive, because there's a pack ready and waiting. Puma trying to chase him down. Blizzard though will actually help the T-34 out here. The Puma may get vision though, and the T-34 is so close to being taken out.
Incredibly low.
This is waiting though. Yeah, with the Puma, because of just how fast the deceleration and the acceleration is, if you drive into a Zis or a Conscious squad, it's like, whoopsie, just turn around and drive away. So you can actually go pretty aggressive and be relatively safe. Not like with certain like slow units, like say, if you do that with an Su-85, yeah, you kind of get destroyed if you get caught, because it's just really slow and clunky. So the VPs are now ticking on the side of PanzerGrenadier, and he does have double fuel as well. So Luvnest in a bit of trouble, is somewhat close to the ISU, 60 fuel away from it, but probably will take a while, considering the little income he has. At 60 fuel may be a long wait. As for PanzerGrenadierAngreifen, damn it, at least he doesn't have Tigers. But that's why I think we're gonna see a tier 3 or a tier 4, and then go Panther. Like I think Panthers. There's no point really.
He has the tier 3, so
yeah. So we're going to see, I reckon, Panthers, because Panthers synergize quite well with the command tank. And then they're just really good against the ISU and the T-34.
Definitely.
And Zis guns.
Yeah, definitely can be great here. So it has been a pretty nice turnaround from PanzerGrenadier. Having lost some Grenadier squads, he really has turned this one back around. Hasn't lost more squads.
Yeah,
once he has the upgrades.
Once that T-70 went down, then there just wasn't really any way to deal with these Grenadiers. They're just more effective than conscripts in the late game. Puma going in though into a Zis will take a bit of damage, pops the smoke for the disengage, and will just reverse move away on the road. Takes 3 Zis shots to be taken out, so it's incredibly hard to kill Pumas. Engineers in the garrison, Pioneers rather, probably going to fall. Does get taken out. That was a Vet 3 squad as well, but the Zis doing a nice barrage, taking out a lot of those Grens here. Packers Vet 3. Did he lose the T-34?
He lost the T-34. Yeah, I was just about to jump in. He got caught on the garrison and then didn't end up getting taken out. Yeah, I wasn't sure if you saw it or not, but yeah, the pack vetted up extremely quickly off that one. Yummy for the pack. Had the Grenadier squads there for the vision. So yeah, the T-34 went down, and that's a huge blow.
Yeah, exactly.
For Luvnest, because he really needed the synergy that's going to come from the T-34 and the ISU. He needs the safety that the T-34 provides to either just block off Pumas or just general additional damage output. Yeah, just kill the Puma.
Because if the Puma has to go deep, if it like flanks the ISU, the T-34 can kill it head on, easy. The only reason why it can't is if the Puma's at like long range poking it, but it won't do that against an ISU because it'll just blow up. So the T-34, it's going to be a lot harder to play the ISU without that T-34 support. He's going to have to make sure he has a Zis covering the rear of the ISU or even just a handful of conscripts or mines. Command tank is on the field. And I think he actually went for that command tank when the T-34 was destroyed.
Yeah.
Because now he's going to have free reign. The T-34 would have been able to ward off and deal with that command tank quite effectively. But now without it, he has not really any way of dealing with that apart from this.
He's relying on the terrain to ward off the command tank. It's actually working for now. Having trouble hitting shots over that heavy cover in the wall there. But this is a very bad position for Luvnest to be in because he's having to engage at range. He can't really hold his territory because he's trying to do it against, you know, command tanks, Puma damage output, and Vet 3 Grens with LMGs. And LMGs, even after the chains, are still extremely strong at that range.
Yeah. Conscripts, they just don't scale in the late game. That's why Soviets are just so Maxim and Sniper focused, is because conscripts, they just don't work in the late game. Unless you outnumber your opponent, or if it's like a really close range map where you can just spam Molotovs. But in this sort of a style map now that there's a lot of those hedges being destroyed and it's actually getting more and more open, the LMGs are just a lot better, especially defensively. Because, yeah, really strong long range rate of fire and damage here. Rifleman's going to be good at wiping the mortar, if not the Zis guns. Double Zis is going to be nice though. We'll give him some safety for his ISU.
Maybe some safety against these Grenadiers, just absolutely chunking down that alarm mortar. Let's end up forcing it off here. And so what do you think the plan is here for Luvnest?
Well, ISU is coming soon. Very soon, in fact. So he can get the ISU and then just pray on the RNG squad wiping gods that he just gets some good wipes and then he can just poke through. The problem though with the ISU on Kolodny is you can't really rotate the ISU to the north and south VPs. So the ISU is kind of sort of stuck in this spot and you can roam it, but then in doing so you can get caught out of position without having the Zis guns nearby or the AT grenades. Conscripts may get taken out by the command tank. I don't think the command tanks can actually get the pintle-mounted MG though. Yeah, they can't.
No, I don't think so.
No, they can't. They do have better anti-infantry than a regular P4 though, just with that HE stub nose barrel. So he's gonna have to try and make the ISU work. But I still think the VP game might be hard to do. Say if you use the ISU, like then you have to like drive it the long way up here like that, and it just takes ages, and then you can get caught, and it's just not fun. It's not a good map for ISU.
Another reason why the T-34 is so important, so you can put pressure on multiple locations.
Yeah, then you camp the ISU in the middle,
the T-34 on the
top
side,
or something like that.
If you need to move it. Molotov going in, really chunking down those Osttroopers. A lot of shells landing across this map as well. We must be so close to the ISU.
Yeah, it's going to be manpower, that's all.
Luvnest, about the longest minute of his life right here, trying to wait for the manpower.
Especially if he keeps reinforcing. So this did a bit of damage onto the commander. Even an Ostwind being called in, actually.
Wow. So really heavy. I want this map, and you're not going to take it back from me, from Angreifen. But this maybe is undoing if that ISU does come in.
Yeah, I don't know about the Ostwind. I think a Brumbar would have been better, because a Brumbar is really good against Zis guns. If you get good RNG, you can wipe Zis guns head on with Brumbars. And then you also do have good synergy against tanks, because the Brumbars have a really high stun vehicle crew chance, and they actually do damage as well. Here, ISU on the field, fires the first shot, doesn't actually hit the MG though.
And it's also whether or not PanzerGrenadier actually knew about the ISU. I mean, all he's really seen is armored vehicle detection and maybe a little bit of conscript repair, and even then, the conscript repair was really happening back at base, so...
Yeah, it wasn't exactly obvious.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. He didn't really... Luvnest really didn't give away this ISU. That may be unfortunate.
The false lance
wow, the
penetrates the frontal armor.
And I think that... Can there be another Puma called in?
You can't afford it. Trying to wipe off the Zis. He wants to wipe this ISU now. Damage engine only once. This could be bad news. Panzer IV command tank. Gets a bit of damage though.
Well, it's going back in.
Yeah, well, it's one shot away from being taken out here. Puma. Gotta be careful. So it's Vet 2 as well though, so it's gonna be pretty effective if once it hits that. But 2 Zis guns, the ISU is relatively safe here.
Should be okay.
But Luvnest is running out of points.
He definitely is. He's running out of VPs. Pretty quick fashion. It's gonna be hard for him to hold multiple locations.
Second Puma.
Especially on winter, I mean, the VP placement is a little bit more annoying. Because they're kind of up the... for ISUs, in that kind of a situation, there's a kind of 2 up top. That's not a nice place to use the ISU. and then there's not one directly in the middle, it's off to the left a little bit, it's on the side, so
Yeah, you can't really
even
get
that's
that one.
hard to hold by the ISU. I mean, on summer, it's kind of a lot easier. You do have a better time using the
VP's
ISU
in the
because
middle.
the VP's in the middle, and there is one off to the right as well in that location. There's not that one up the top there, so you don't have to spread your forces. Your opponent kind of has to spread their forces a little bit thinner to hold on to all of the VPs, whereas here you can kind of blow up a bit up the top in the ISU. You can't really make an impact there.
At the same time, you can just camp the ISU here.
If you can get it up
But
there,
it's a lot harder to
dangerous.
defend
Yeah.
because then there isn't as many chokes and there's a lot of flanking routes. So if he does put his blob up here and then just make sure he mines around the sides, then that's one way he can play it. Or you can just really be aggressive and just try and force your opponent off the map with the ISU, try and get the wipes.
2 Pumas and the command tank though, so the Zisses have to be right on the backhand side of that ISU.
Not many munitions for AT grenades either, so this is actually a bit risky. If the Puma's going, he needs to have plenty of munitions. But he hasn't been able to store that many, having lost a lot of them. So this munitions point is going to be nice for Luvnest to have if he can hold it.
He's decapped for the moment, definitely wants munitions if he can.
Ooh,
Puma's going to
nice.
the flank, but a mine up the top there, really nicely played. So one of the Pumas gets caught. Let's see if there's any capitalization of this. Vet 2 on that Puma as well. That's the first one to come along. The Australian actually having a pretty good time, not against the Molotov though.
Molotov will take them very low and force the retreat.
Force the death.
Oh wow, pretty good Molotov crits there.
Yeah. Extremely decent.
So the Puma, especially Vet 2, it gets a lot of extra damage against infantry. The rate of fire and the accuracy really allowing it to chunk down the infantry as well as the tanks. The Zis actually fired onto that Vet 2 Puma, almost took it out as well. There goes the Osvin, and the command tank will wipe that Vet 1 mortar, but the Zis doing some pretty good damage. Mortar not retreating yet. Yeah, there it goes.
Osvin's going to back off now. One more shot away from death, and he's still in range.
Vet 2
here.
for the
Pop
rate of fire.
smoke.
Yep, that smoke giving it a free oh wow!
Oh! That was an attack round, I think.
Yeah, it
Must have been through the smoke. Fantastic work, and that was a tough one as well, Luvnest. Kudos to you, sir. And all of a sudden, very low tanks, but not a lot of ways to capitalize on it for
Surprised he
Luvnest.
didn't kill it.
It was very low.
I actually can't see the blue.
It's that low that we can't see the health bar, so...
Yeah. So, 100 VPs left, and we may even just see Luvnest go for a T-34 once he can afford it. I think it would actually be a good idea, rebuilding that. He's got the bottom VP, but yeah, he can't really get the top.
Yeah, it has one for the moment. I mean, at least it's slowing the VP bleed, but with 94 left, doesn't have a lot of room to play with.
And there's 3 flank routes. One there, one there. That's a wide one as well, hard to mine. And yeah, of course, up here. So, it's going to be hard. I don't think
See what he can pull out here. It's going to be hard for him to go aggressive with these static AT guns. Really going to have to roll them up. In synergy with the conscripts, the only thing really working in his favour is only 2 pioneer squads for PanzerGrenadier, so he doesn't really have a nice way to repair all of these tanks at once. Pumas are going to be repaired though.
This is so close with the attack rounds, but not quite getting it. ISU rotating up as well. Puma does get hit by the Zis and wipes out that MG with really good damage. The Puma is getting taken very low. The other one as well, the ISU connects. There it goes. Zis having some fantastic damage with the attack round.
Oh
no,
wow,
what?
that's another one!
Wasn't an attack round,
No,
apparently
he has
getting vision over the
that.
wall. Really nice play with the Zis gun.
Really nice placement as well. They're taking out both of the Pumas. That is the main damage threat to the ISU. All of a sudden, Luvnest is definitely back in this one. With only the command tank and the Ostvin, it's going to be a lot harder for PanzerGrenadier to actually hold on to this one. The Pumas are the main threat against the ISU.
And there's so much vetted conscripts now as well. PanzerGrenadier, he does have 1 squad of Grens and 2 squads of Osttruppen. That's not enough infantry. He's going to need to get more than that. Because the ISU is just really good at wiping those squads. So it's hard to play the late game infantry vet battle against an ISU because it's just so easy to lose those vet 3 squads. All V3Bs being capped now. That's an MGE 42.
It is indeed, and really important for Luvnest to be able to hold on to these points, and that's it. Once your opponent gets the map with the ISU, every time you push out, you run the risk of losing a squad. The ISU is going to take at least a couple of shots. Oh, Pack actually setting up here.
The Vet 3 will allow it to chunk through the ISU very quickly. The rate of fire and the extra penetration.
I doubt it has quite vision.
No, it won't yet.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the ISU can just insta one-shot the pack.
Yeah.
So you gotta have vision for it, so the ISU fires on something else. If he just runs a Gren squad forward, or even the command tank, for example. So the pack's firing now. Let's see how it goes. The ISU can wipe it very easily. 3 shots will connect here.
Okay, but the conscript's going to be moving in and getting vision onto the pack, so the
back.
ICU should be able to turn around and start firing on that. First shot does miss here. Conscripts drop one of the men carrying the pack though, so we're going to have another ISU shot come through.
Conscript's very powerful with the Vet 3 against the pack. He's
Pack's
going to
not
lose
backing
it.
away.
That's a very important, losing that Vet 3 pack. Bit of a blow now.
It's a massive deal.
Still hasn't repaired that command tank.
Pioneer repairs are spread very, very thin here for Panzergrenadier, having only the 2 squads and now having to invest in some more infantry as well. He's going for a P... Is that a P4?
Yeah, that's a regular P4.
Regular P4. I don't know whether I'm a massive fan of that. I mean, I guess he kind of needs to. Maybe he thinks he can't take out the ISU and wants to play the VP game and just force off the infantry. What do you think?
Well, there's a captured pack as well, so it's going to be very hard to use these vehicles. Panzer IV is a good choice, because the Panzer IV is going to be versatile. It's good against the ISU if it flanks, and it still will have good anti-infantry damage. So I think it's definitely the safe option.
A lot of munitions in the bank as well here for Panzergrenadier.
Yeah, but he can't really do much with this commander. Other than his grenades and his Panzerfaust, there isn't any artillery that he can call in. Looks like he may lose the Osttroop here as well. Oh, he survives that one. Oh, no, just kidding.
Just kidding. Conscripts working it out.
I'm surprised they had vision on during the blizzard.
Yeah, during the blizzard.
Maybe the blizzard hasn't even started yet. It's about to, I think, though.
I think it's going.
Yeah, the blizzard is going.
Blizzard's going. Conscripts having the real power in those rifles, though. Okay, so ISU still in the middle here, just chilling. Hopefully does get repaired a little bit here. I don't think we're going to be seeing Panzergrenadier going balls deep into it. Could be very, very dangerous, especially, you know, you don't know where the mines are. You don't know where the Zis guns are. There's at least 2 of those and a pack. It's going to be very, very antsy moving tanks around, especially in this blizzard.
Yeah, there's 2 AT guns here, pack and the Zis. Covering over the ISU. At the top, there is also T-34 on the field alongside that Vet 3 Zis. Can definitely take out that Panzer IV. Yeah, dropping it very low. Grens are going to find the Faust, but they may even get taken up by the T-34.
Back off now.
Panzer Faust, though.
Does land the Faust here, but I don't know how much follow-up there's going to be. With the P4 extremely low.
And the repair time is going to be a problem here. Every time the Zis guns fire and they get these tanks lower.
ISU fires through the garrison. I'm going to see the next shot. I think he's trying to at least destroy the garrison. Over the decap, because why not at this point? It does get the vision at least with those conscripts. ISU just still having good power here, and just because of how much Luvnest bled Panzergrenadier earlier in the game, had him down to 250 BPs before Panzergrenadier actually turned it around.
Yeah.
It means Panzergrenadier hasn't had a lot of time to try and build up his army again. He's already been very, very low. Down to 90 BPs now. Both of our players extremely low.
But he basically just has the whole map at this stage. I don't really see how Luvnest can lose unless he throws away his ISU, which, with the 2 Zis guns and the Maxim, well, not even a Maxim, MG42, I think he's very, very safe. Still, the bottom VP, it can force the ISU into an awkward angle.
And that's maybe what we're going to see here.
Yeah, and then
a lot of squads moving around in the worldwide exclusive flank here.
Puma's going to be available soon, so he may just rush in with the Puma and the 2 Panzer IVs and just burst down the ISU.
And that's what he's waiting for. Really do need to have that Puma available and should have enough damage output.
Nice.
Smoking that off.
Yeah, nice work, actually.
Nice smoke.
I mean, it's going to be harder for the ISU to wipe. He doesn't know where to fire. At the top here, Osttroop trying to get the VP back, but conscripts aren't very effective against them. Tanks are moving into both of our Zis guns, or the Zis and the pack. Ostrin dropping very low, but now the pack may get taken out here. It's only on 3 models for the crew, and the Austrians are very good at wiping those AT guns.
Actually going to be rotating top here, 75 points
missing
now.
all of those shots.
Getting extremely low, yeah, just not managing to wipe the pack here. The ISU is going to be rotating down as well. It's right next to the church here.
Yeah,
We're not seeing another Puma being called in. Looks like the pack's about to go down. Yes, it is indeed. All of these medium tanks caught in the middle of the ISU takes one shot.
Caught between the Zis gun as well, but the Garrison blocking off. T-34 is very, very close. We'll have a pretty good time. A T-grenade lands on the command tank. The T-34s are being shredded by the P4s. There goes the Ostwind. ISU can't really follow up here. Zis did move up to reface. Others has been caught out of position. He can merge that one, but the MG is pinning down those conscripts, so he can't merge. There goes the command tank as well.
T-34's getting taken out here. T-34 still has some shells in the bank here. Can it fire onto the P4? I don't know. The Puma's actually out here, but it's going to be taking out a lot of damage from those Zisses from the back lines as well. It got recrewed.
Not a very effective trade here for PanzerGrenadier, losing basically all of his tanks. That being said, though, he has a VP. Oh, well, the bottom one's being captured back. ISU still alive, and there's plenty of fuel for Luvnest, so you can keep rebuilding these T-34s. We may lose the Vet 3 Zis gun. That'd be a pretty huge blow.
Can the Puma take it? That is the real question.
Yeah, he will do.
Should do.
Now, there it goes.
There we go.
So actually, wiping that Zis, not looking too bad for PanzerGrenadier. Rifleman going through.
Really nice pushback. Only one member of that con squad. Unfortunate. ISU not very happy with that.
There goes the Grens. The mortar crew could probably even kill these conscripts.
I reckon they could.
Unless the ISU actually
We're going to check it out.
Nah, he retreats. Against the ISU, yeah, he would get destroyed.
So nice counter push here coming out from PanzerGrenadier. These two players extremely evenly matched, always pushing each other back when it looks like there's no hope for them.
I'm sure we're seeing more T-34s come out for Luvnest. Yeah, one of them being produced. Can't afford the manpower for the second one. All three VPs are going to be captured. Oh no, the bottom one is held by Luvnest. I keep changing the teams so I lose track of the colors.
It's very confusing.
Sneaky caps up here for Luvnest. The VPs are very low. They're 60 each, so
it's important to hold on to them, especially until that next T-34 can come out.
yeah, because with how low the Panzer IV and the Puma is, the T-34 can probably just drive in and kill them. A T-grenade takes out the Puma very low.
This is actually going to be moving up, rotating as well.
Oh,
If it can
wow.
get within range.
Nice.
Yes, it can. Nice shot. Could even take out the command tank here. Oh, it's a regular P4.
One more shot will take it out, but he won't be able to.
Well,
He
he, can
attack
get
grounds
the,
it.
he can get the attack ground from there. Oh, he's
no.
walking back in.
Oh, no.
That's not where you want to
Whoopsie.
be.
Abandoned.
Whoops. That's not good.
He popped Blitzkrieg probably because of the T-34 up north. He can recapture the abandoned P4 unless he wipes it. We'll lose the Zis, but without the P4, not really having many options. No Puma either. But still, the VPs will matter. Currently, all three of them are held by PanzerGrenadier. The P4 will be recaptured by PanzerGrenadier unless it gets focused down. Oh, there goes the Pyos. P4's recaptured, but it's on 0 HP. Yeah, there we go.
Out of control.
I guess it was more of a prevention of it being captured. Pioneers can get wiped on retreat by the T-34.
44 VPs though for Luvnest. Can he cap them back in time?
Probably can.
He don't have no vehicle crew, so he's gonna have to get some infantry on the field.
T-34 is nowhere near Vet 1, and
No.
the ISU doesn't have capture point.
Point. Thank God.
Has focus sight, something that's actually useful.
Damn it.
3 squads of Ostruppen, no squads of Grenadiers. And
35 VPs.
still a lot of vetted conscripts here, so really good unit preservation for Luvnest. He does need to get this North VP though. He's actually moving up a Zis gun and conscripts to get those VPs.
So he should be able to get it in time. Only going to be about 28 VPs. A manageable amount, and moving his vetted infantry back onto the field. It's going to be very hard to force him off with that T-34 as well as the ISU, and no tanks to speak of at all on the side of PanzerGrenadier.
A munitions cache is interesting. I think maybe Luvnest was looking to use
He
the...
need to maintain it.
Yeah, he probably was pop capped, and he wanted to get more munitions for a bombing strike. Nice to use that against tanks. Forces them out of position, or kills them, one of the two. So I think this may be the end here for PanzerGrenadier. He doesn't have any infantry left. He can't contest the VPs if he's versing Vet 3 conscripts with Ostruppen.
ISU's going to have the positioning over the top.
Yeah, and that top positioning will cover both of the VPs.
Indeed. So just going to be the 60 VP kick down here for Angreifen. Not having a fun time at all. It's too much better infantry in the end for Luvnest.
And Ostruppen aren't good anyway. Even if the Ostruppen are ahead in Vet, they still probably will lose. T-34 in a bit of trouble because they can't actually chase down the Puma with a damaged engine, so he may lose it, especially with the pack firing. But again, the conscripts are holding the point, so it probably won't even matter driving into the Puma, driving the conscripts rather. So the AT grenades can burst it down. Yeah, he's probably going to lose the Puma as well as the T-34. It gets taken out now.
T-34 missed its shot as well. It was backing away at the time.
AT grenade's available here. He can throw another AT grenade. He didn't throw it.
I don't know if he really
Oh,
matters
there we
at this
go.
point. He just wants to cap the point.
Oh,
What?
The-
What was that? It was a mortar shot, was it?
Oh, it must have been.
Pack
Yeah.
was going to take it down the back lines, though.
He
Well, it was
retreated now.
swaggy if nothing else there coming out for
I thought it was the Puma, and I was like,
yeah.
Pumas don't do
It's
that.
not quite that explosive, and it looks like he's trying to cap back the top. Can he actually
man.
do it?
The-
I don't know if he can.
The ISU disc is actually really good against infantry, so he can just deny the top VP with that. the
15 VPs now.
This is trying to juke the Puma.
Yeah.
There we go. AT grenade's going to be
Bob's
available.
going to be capped back now, I think. Top one's, the stop is being, coming out there. The
Yeah,
Austrian
but-
going to get it taken out. 10 points remaining.
You won't get it.
Not going to get them in time. That's very unfortunate. He came very close to getting it as well. If he actually capped these points, he might have held them. I don't doubt it.
There wasn't that many VPs,
It was a nice game in the end there. I was surprised Lovnest came back because he had control over the early game and then just couldn't deal with the Grenadiers having lost that T-70.
Yeah.
And then lost the T-34 and still managed to come back.
I think Griffin, he just lost too many of those Pumas. Really, there's no excuse for losing Pumas to Zis guns because it literally takes 3 shots. And the fire rate's really slow. You have smoke. You're such a fast vehicle. Pumas, they're very easy to keep alive. Especially against static targets. Unless you drive over a mine, then you're in a bit of trouble. But losing those Pumas, and he lost a lot of those vetted LMG Grens to things other than ISUs. And then once you do lose the infantry in the late game, it's hard to come back with it.
Definitely is. Nonetheless, pretty fun game there.
Yeah, well
Fairly
played.
interesting. Coming right down to the wire there on VPs. And a nice quick down to the wire as well. 45 minutes is a pretty quick one because it was really back and forth. 3 VPs versus 0 VPs and then back again. So a quick game considering how low everyone got.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on to our next match. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.